Welcome guys to another video about programming. My name is Shabir and today we will talk about data types specifically in C#. We'll start by looking at the different data types and followed by casting because they go very well hand in hand, so might as well explain both at the same time. Data types. Now, in C#, there are mainly 8 primitive data types. They are short, int, long, float, double, decimal, char, and boolean. Now, they're called primitive mainly because they're the main built-in types. They're the main built-in types and could be used to build other data types as well. Now keep in mind this list is not all the data types. You can actually build your own data types in C#, similarly in Java as well. They are known as objects, and the string family is not in this list because I believe that strings deserve its own specific video, so that one's coming in the near future. On a regular day, the developers will mainly use integers, float, double, and boolean. Short, int, long, they deal mainly with whole numbers, and the range can go from, for an int specifically, can go from -2 billion all the way up to 2 billion. They range in sizes from 2 bytes to 4 bytes to 8 bytes. Float, double, and decimal, they mainly deal with decimal numbers. So whole numbers right here, decimal numbers right here. Now if you look carefully, float is 7 significant digits, while double it's 14 significant digits, and decimal it's 28 significant digits. The difference between the decimal and double is that decimal is mainly used for currency, money. If your application deals with money, then you always want to use decimal, mainly because of the accuracy in currency. If you're using double for currency, after a while it might start truncating numbers. It might start rounding some numbers, and you don't want to start rounding when you're dealing with currency. Char deals with single character letters. Boolean deals with only two things, true or false. By default it's false. So let's look at the casting, and we'll come back to this list to explain the casting in detail. Now, casting is basically the process of assigning the value of one data type to of a specific variable to another variable of another data type. What I mean by this is that when you're casting can either be upcasting or downcasting. Upcasting is known as implicit conversion, when you're trying to go from a smaller data type to a bigger data type. So before I explain the implicit conversion in detail, keep in mind that 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So in implicit conversion, when I'm trying to go from byte to short to int, a byte is just 1 byte. This is short, it's 2, int is 4, long it's 8, float it's 4, and then double it's 8. So if I'm trying to go from byte to short, I have 1 byte and I'm trying to go to 2 bytes. If I take a data from byte and I put it inside short, it's perfectly happy. It is not going to complain because I'm giving it more room at the short level. So if I go from a short to an int, now I'm going from a 2 byte to a 4 byte. It's perfectly happy again because a data type of 2 bytes will gladly go fit inside a data type of 4 bytes because he has more room to maneuver. But if I'm trying to go the other way around, trying to fit a double inside a long or an int, then then I have to specifically say that I have to specifically say that I want to downcast something. So downcasting and explicit conversion, it means the same thing. Now, in implicit conversion, there is no data loss that occurs. You're trying to go from a smaller number to a bigger number. You're giving it more room. In explicit conversion, there can be data losses, and most of the time there is. For instance, if you have a data type of type double, 30.5, and you say that you want to fit that 30.5 inside an integer, 30.5 at the double level, it's taking 8 bytes. At the integer level, it will only take 4 bytes. So the first thing that happens is you have to specifically say that I want to fit it inside an int. And second thing that happens is you will lose the decimal. So because if you recall, ints are whole numbers, so are long and short. So if I'm taking a decimal number and I'm putting it inside a whole number, then I will automatically lose the decimal portion of it. So let's look at some examples to clarify this concept. Here I have an integer I is equal to 2 and double D is equal to 15. And what I'm saying over here is, so int I, it's 4 bytes, double D, it's 8 bytes. They're two separate families, integer family and double family. And here I'm saying is that I want to assign the 2 to my D. This is perfectly fine because I'm going from a smaller number to a bigger number. I'm taking a 4 byte variable, and I'm trying to fit it inside an 8 byte variable. So it's going to accept that. It won't complain. Next, I'm taking a 4 byte number over here, int I is equal to 2, then float a is equal to 5. I take a 4 byte number and I'm trying to fit it inside another 4 byte number, but they're not the same families. So this is whole numbers, this is not whole numbers, this is decimals. It is going to give me an error if I try to do this. If I try to do this line right here, I is equal to a, it's going to give me an error. So then I have to explicitly mention that the data type that I'm trying to convert to is the integer. So right before my a, I have to mention int. At this level, I am converting it. I'm explicitly doing the conversion, and then once the conversion is done, then it will assign it to an integer. Now the last one, again, here int b is equal to 10, float d is equal to 5, b is equal to d, which I'm saying take my 5 and put it inside the b. This is going to give me an error again because I'm trying to downcast it. I'm trying to go from a bigger number to a smaller number, and I have to specifically explicitly mention that I'm trying to go down to an int. You can't just put any data type over here. You can't just specify anything. This has to be the same data type of the variable, the data type of the variable you're trying to go inside. So if this was short in the beginning, short b is equal to 10, on this end it is going to be short because it's an int. That's why I have an int over here. Thank you very much for listening. That was all for data types and casting in C#. If you have any questions or comments or topics you would like me to discuss in future videos, please put it in the comment section below. I will get to it as soon as possible, I promise. If you know someone who is going to benefit from this video as well, please share it with them, and do give a thumbs up to this video. Please go ahead and subscribe to this channel as well, because I will be releasing more videos every Sunday on C# development, database development, and CRM development, so you don't want to miss out on anything important. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for listening, and have a good day.